The endings we know and the ones that sneak up on us. On aging, ambition, and the change that finally found me. In a recent writing class, I had my students write about endings. I introduced the topic by reading an excerpt from a December 2025 post by Patti Digh, A Geography of Endings. What makes endings so difficult is that they demand trust. Trust that something else will meet us on the other side, even if we cannot yet see its outline. Trust that letting go does not mean failing. Trust that the world keeps offering itself to us in different forms. Trust that the sun will come back up tomorrow. To live fully is to end things over and over again. Friendships that once held us. Seasons of work that sustained us until they didn't. Versions of ourselves we could no longer carry. It is tempting to resist this truth, to cling to the familiar even as it unravels. But endings are not punishments. They are invitations. Every ending reshapes us. After this opening, we spent 10 minutes making a list of the endings we'd experienced in our lives. Volunteers read their lists out loud, and I encouraged everyone to add new items to their lists if they were inspired by their classmates' ideas. My list of endings ranged all over the place. Here's just a sampling. Endings I've experienced. Death of my twin sister. Loss of safety and body integrity when I was sexually abused. Quitting the swim team when I was 12. Leaving New Jersey as a teenager and never moving back. Quitting college 3 times. Leaving Guru Maharaji's ashram to face life on my own. Rift in my relationship with my mother when I told her about her father's sexual abuse. End of belief in myself as a confidently healthy person when I was diagnosed with cancer. Sudden chemical menopause from chemotherapy. My father's death. My mother's death. Being pregnant for the last time. Nursing my babies for the last time. Choosing not to have rummage rights to my son's thoughts and feelings when he was 15. Dropping my kids off at college 3,000 miles away. The moment I realized I couldn't count on my body to do whatever I asked it to do. Reaching Santiago de Compostela, the final destination on my Camino pilgrimage. After people shared their lists, we spent the rest of the morning writing the story of one of these endings in depth. After people shared their lists, we spent the rest of the morning writing the story of one of those endings in depth. I chose a subject to write about that hadn't made it to my initial list at all. When ambition loses its grip. I need to write about the end of the kind of drive that has, driven me all my life. The compelling pull to create, manifest, make things happen. To engage with an audience, whether it's an audience of readers, students, or others outside my intimate sphere, who engage with the offerings I create and put out in the world. As I write the words, end of my drive, I realize that's not quite accurate, not true to what it is I'm trying to express. Here I am, for instance, responding to this prompt on a blank page, and as I pen these words, part of me hopes they will be good enough, resonant enough to shape themselves into a post, valuable enough to put before an audience. At 69 years old, I am still wanting my words and exploration of this topic, or any topic, to resonate enough with others to warrant publication and generate a response. Clearly, that is still something I care about, because it's something I am still doing on a regular basis, even during these months when most of my life energy has, of necessity, gone to tending and rebuilding my health. In a period when I am saying no to almost everything, except my weekly teaching, pared down from what it once was, doctor's appointments, and rest, I have never missed publishing my 2 weekly Substack posts. I've asked myself why I keep doing this when I've easily let go of so many other things. No angst involved. And the answer is that it continues to give me great pleasure. The writing, the editing, the fine-tuning, choosing the right photos to go with my words or another writer's words, as well as the dialogue that results. I still love completing the circuit between creator and audience, writer and reader, teacher and student. It is still deeply satisfying to me. So, what is it that has changed? When I dig a little deeper, what has changed is a loosening of the attachment, ego, and anxiety that has always been connected to my work. Writing, publishing, and teaching are things I continue choosing because they please me, because they naturally flow out of me. Creation continues to feel like an innate extension of who I am. There is no have to involved. The way I allocate my time has changed. I work less, way less. I crave, no, my internal system requires, or should I even say demands, lots of open space and time. If I am teaching a morning writing class that starts at 9 on Zoom, I get up at 6, so I could have the spaciousness to read in bed, make a leisurely breakfast, do a guided meditation, write, or take an early bath. Some mornings I slip out for a walk with Luna, or have a conversation with a friend. I go out looking for a subject for my once-a-day photograph, or some combination of the above. It doesn't really matter what I do with those hours, or if I do anything at all. What matters is that I have them and get to choose in the moment what to do with them. And if I teach a 3-hour class, as I do 3 times a week, then I better have spaciousness in my day after the class is over. I no longer like days with things stacked one on top of another. Walking, time in nature, cooking a healthy dinner, seeing a friend, playing mahjong, or just puttering have become priorities. Work, constrained in small parcels, is something I still enjoy. But when work crowds out living, I set it aside. A list of work tasks that might have taken me a day now takes a week or a month, or never gets done at all. I've noticed lately that my lists, and yes, I'm still an inveterate list maker, have less work-related items on them. And the work items on my list frequently drop off the list altogether. That extra podcast I was going to pitch. That blurb for a fellow writer that I am no longer willing to write. The idea I had of something I might teach or generate may sit at the bottom of my list for a while. But then one day, with great satisfaction, I cross it off. Not because it's done, but because I've gotten clear that I'm not going to do it at all. In order to succeed as a creative solopreneur for the past 4 decades, I've gripped work firmly in the palm of my hand. Now I've loosened my fingers. My capacity to say, oh well, if something doesn't work out, has grown exponentially. Letting go of a project, an idea, or a plan feels more like relief or a passing cloud in the sky, less like any version of failure. For the past several years, I've sensed that a sea change was coming. In fact, was required. Yet I didn't know how to get there, how to stop being the me I'd always been. I couldn't imagine the shape of my life when I no longer worked the way I always had. Now that change is happening without me even trying. The season is changing. As a self-employed person whose work is inextricably linked to my creativity, I won't have the kind of set retirement date someone in a traditional job might have. Just a gradual tapering, an organic transition emerging naturally from inside me. My real work now is to relax and breathe into that change, to enjoy work when I do it, to savor it more because I'm doing it less, to embrace the open space I am creating without immediately filling it up again, to step into this new phase of life with my palms and heart open. If you would like to explore these issues for yourself, you can come study with me this June. One of the 2 retreats I'm teaching this year, Flourishing as We Age, a writing retreat for women. Spend a glorious week at a beautiful oceanfront retreat center in Santa Cruz, California. Using story, deep listening, and ritual, learn to welcome change, build resilience, and hold grief and gratitude simultaneously. I led this retreat last May with 3 wonderful master co-teachers. It was glorious, intimate, and transformative, and we're offering it again this June. Join us. You could learn more at the link in the show notes. And remember, every time you click the heart, leave a comment, or share a post, you're making it easier for new readers to discover the writer's journey.